As leaders in professional and personal development, our aim is to develop skills of job seekers by providing employable skills, training, workshop, and networking. Career development workshop is a part of this project. The idea of the project is given by some eminent personalities. Please help me welcome our District Director, DTM Samer Kamal, to give a few small limelight in the project. DTM Samer Kamal, please.
Thank you, Mr. Event Chair, for welcoming the audience and for leading this project. District 79 by this event is taking a new direction, not only focusing on public speaking, leadership, and communication skills, but addressing the needs of the society and the community. And this is one of the main goals of Toastmasters International, to empower and prepare effective communicators and leaders. In this new trend or new events, and I believe this will be the pilot only, not the last one, the first but not the last, we are targeting the new fresh graduates and also the job seekers who are searching for new opportunities in the business market. We welcome you all, and I'm sure that if you are not a Toastmaster, please know that in Toastmasters, we prepare ourselves by experience, by learning, by taking actions. So in Toastmasters, you will get a lot of opportunities to prepare yourself for the business market, to enhance your skills in presentation, in speaking, in leading. This event is only one of the things that you will find in Toastmasters. I'm sure that if you join the club in Toastmasters, you will gain a lot of skills that you will need in the business. Enjoy this event, enjoy the workshops that we have, and I sincerely thanks the organizing committee and the trainers for making this event happen. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Event Chair.
Toastmaster Aya, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you, Project Chair, and thank you, District Director. And now starting off with our first workshop, Resume Writing, which is going to be presented by DTM Samer Yunus. DTM Samer, please, the mic is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this workshop. This is part one of a number of activities following this project. After this orientation and training session, you will be asked to participate in different stages that I will leave to the organizers to explain later on. Let me go directly into the short presentation that I prepared. And let me share my screen. All right. As you have noticed from the ad for the event, the topics selected for this workshop has a certain sequence. Resume writing, starting with me, that's where you are sitting at home. You are not yet out to search for a job. You prepare your resume or CV, we will discuss that. Then you have to search for a job, and that's by my colleague, DTM Saud Lamer. And then we will listen to some tips on employability skills. And finally, end this quick workshop with interview techniques. Finally, you are on site, interviewing, and you want to present yourself. So there's a sequence in the topics selected. A quick introduction. This is me, BC, before Corona. Same beard, but much shorter hair. I'm a Jordanian. I'm a Toastmaster since 2001. I became a DTM, a Distinguished Toastmaster, since 2005. I'm a member of two districts, Saudi Arabia 79 and Jordan District 105 in Toastmasters. I constantly travel in the region, mainly between Amman and Riyadh and Khubar. I have three lovely kids, Yasmin, Hashim, and Kareem, and I'm an architect and urban planner by education, a management consultant and trainer by profession. Let's first differentiate between the word resume and CV. Resume is basically a summary. They use it as another term for CV, but it's a summary, it's an abstract, it's an outline, it's a digest, it's a wrap-off, it's a head note, all these terms that reflect the word resume. The curriculum vitae or CV is actually a Latin for course of life. So basically, it's the course of your life. A CV somehow is more detailed than a resume. What I want you to understand that a CV or a resume is your ticket for an interview. So whenever you are seeking a job, when you send your CV, then you need to understand that it is just buying a ticket or a scratch card. It doesn't guarantee you to have an interview, but you will not be hired based on the resume itself. You will be hired based on the interview. So the whole objective of your resume is to get you the interview. That's why you want it to be as appealing, as precise, as short as possible in order to have the second party understand it quickly and make that decision of, yes, call him or her to that interview, all right? Back in the days, maybe 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I developed a nice template to summarize how a beautiful professional resume should look like. Now, over time, things have changed, but the same concepts prevail. So I went back to my files and I looked at this one. This is how an appealing resume should look like. Your full name should be in bold on the top of page. Your contact information, address. Back in the days, we used to add the postal address, but not anymore. We used to have something called fax, but not anymore. Here you go, this is the top part of it. So you have your phone, your mobile, your email. In fact, nowadays, it's only the mobile and the email and maybe the city you are in, your permanent address. That should be at the top of your CV in order, your name, contact information, and that's it. The next step would be career objective and experiences, certificates, education. See, certificates come after education, so you need to present those first. Here I had this developed for fresh grads called research interests. And that is something that I found later adapted in some CVs, placed in CV banks or CV templates on Microsoft and others. This is something unique that until today is a tip for fresh graduates with less experience, less professional paid experience, that helps you in telling the other party that, yes, I have a degree in computer science, but I like to specialize in Oracle or Microsoft or programming, hardware, software, networks. So you put some research interest, what you research during school years or outside of school years. Here, there's also another part that I like people to have, even during their school affiliations. What organizations you're affiliated with. If you are an engineer, there is the Engineers Association. If you are a lawyer, there's a Lawyer Association. If you are a member of Toastmasters, that's the place to tell us about. If you are a member of any local community group, then that's where you want to tell us. That's part of your professional experience. That's part of your experience that adds to your skills. Then you list your skills. Languages are most important. Computer skills are also. And basically that's it, then it develops. So if we look at this, again, we have your career objective and then you have your experiences. Here, it's very important to note, I don't care about the company you worked for as much as I care for the position or the job title. So I want to know that in the past, you've handled a manager of marketing, even if it's for a small company or a big company. That's why whether in those days, I used to put the company name, the city and country, and then the position bold and bigger in font. Nowadays, I just switch them, but it's okay. You show the dates, but you show the position. The position should be the most important. And here you need to add some of the responsibilities. But beware, if you are having the same position from one company to the other, then you need not to copy and paste all the responsibilities. You add that in a different section in your CV. To move on, I just want us to see some case studies, and that's probably the best way to learn. By the way, even for education, you need to show your degree, not the name of the university. The name of the university is there, but the most important, what are the degrees that you have? So these are things that I face. Some people put bold on other things. So we need to look into that. Looking at case studies, this is a CV for a friend. He's a lawyer in Jordan. As you notice, it's 3 pages. He has his picture, and this is an argument that we can discuss later during the Q&A. Shall I add my picture? Is it more professional, less professional? However, when I help people modify their CVs, I don't really interfere with the content much. I just give them guidelines. They have to do it themselves. They have to write their own text in the CVs. What I do, I change it from a format point of view, from an edit point of view. This CV is 3 pages, but it has so many spaces. This is the outcome. So it used to be this, now it's this, okay? And here you can see it's becoming two pages. His name is clear, his contact information or personal information is up high, it's available. And then he has his references at the end. And this is another thing we need to discuss. Do I need to have references in my CV or not? If there are people who can participate in the chat, I would love to hear some of their comments if the chat is open. If not, and there is a way later on in the Q&A, if I tell you contact X person from my references, what will they say? Most likely they will say something good. So that's another skill we train, and we talk to HR and recruitment personnel in different companies, how to ask the references, because most likely since this person added this person as a reference, okay, then we have, they will say good things. That's a later thing. So it defies the purpose. Putting more or less references, in my opinion, is not relevant. You can get rid of that and have one line, as I said in my template here. This is a cliche line: contacts and letters of recommendation are available upon request. So you can highlight this at the very end, but you don't need to list names. And remember, never put a name without consulting with the person you want to have in your CV. One major rule: there is no right or wrong. There are some things that are not preferred, but it's your CV, it reflects you. So it's up to you to put whatever you feel that will get you the interview. I will show you my very first CV, which I just found in my backup, June 1999, and a modified version in August 1999. So we will look at that at the very end. Somebody asked how many pages are prepared for CV. There is no preference, but the less the better. So maybe 2 pages looks good if they are condensed, if you're not wasting space. 3, it could be there 3. But when you look at CVs as 6 pages, 7 pages, that's really too much. That's a profile. So somehow 2-3 pages sounds good. 1 pager if you don't have lots of experience, but have it full, that makes also sense. Looking at another case study, another CV for a friend. If you see, it's very professional, well organized, the name at the on top. But again, you look at spaces, look at the positions, look at this empty space. So what we did, we moved to change it, and it's only 1 page. So between this is the same content, nothing changed from this one to this one. If you look at the new one, here you have the contact information on top, any personal information went down, nationality, for example, and that's something also you need to know if you are working in a diverse culture, you need to list your nationality or not. Another case study, this is Arabic English. This is CV where somebody who had his experiences and all the courses he took during his past years. All these are courses. And to him, they were so important to be there. So what I did when I helped him, I didn't remove any, but I removed the spaces, all this empty space using tables. This is his result. So this was a 4-page CV, and this is how it ended up. 2 pages highlighting courses, highlighting professional experience, removing the lines for the table. It's still a table, but we didn't show the lines. Another case study, again, 3 pages. This became 1 page. Imagine. The same thing, the same content. These 3 pages are squeezed in 1 page now. I'm maneuvering between different windows. That's why it's taking time. Okay. Yeah, I know. The CVs I'm showing are not intended to be read. They're intended to be just looked at as a format. Okay. Focusing on your professional experience first, personal information later, the name, the contact, and so on. Remember, it's a ticket for you to go there. I don't intend for you to read it, but I will show you my CVs, which I can show you because the rest are maybe personal information. Now, I'll go back to my personal contact later on. Let me show you, let me share my first CV. Okay. Okay, here you go. Your CV name should reflect your name. Here, this is wrong. My first CV back in June 1999 was named CV Old. It should be Yunus Samer. Last name, comma, first name. Last name, first name. Not first name because we have so many Muhammads, but we don't have many Yunuses. I don't know. So here, that was my first CV. I had my photo. I was so thin back then, so no comments, please. Okay. So that was my CV, the very first CV that I did. I'm an architect. I didn't have my master's back then. And I had some experiences during my work, some interests, skills, affiliations, and so on. And I used to, back then, to end with a quotation: very hard worker, ambitious, enthusiastic, high self-esteem. Over time, I went over that and went to something else. Now, looking at my final CV nowadays, okay, here you can see my current CV now is 2 pages, okay. Let me zoom in. And here it says name, certified manager, some of the titles that I go with. This is my project management, my 2 main phones in Jordan and KSA, Twitter, Skype, email, mailing address, summary of qualifications, education, certificates, professional membership, my experiences, the company, and the title. The title is most important. Different titles. And here, again, more experiences until I reach the very first professional experience, 1996-97, and some of the training courses that were relevant for that position. Okay, compare this to the next CV that I did after my first. This was my first official CV, and there's something interesting. It's too colorful. I'm an architect by education, so it was too colorful. Again, the photo and because here there was something very interesting which we can split into a letter, which is this. When I used to apply for a position, I used to write something, why me at this company? Okay, this is something that you can add in your letter of when you apply. That's the letter. You customize the letter. Why me in that certain position? Okay. So, all in all, I'm not sure where are we on time, but all in all, what do we see in the chat? Am I still sharing my screen? Stop share. Okay. All right. So, all in all, in your CV, remember the following. It's a ticket for you to get the interview. And in the interview, that's where you get the job. Your name, contact information should be on top. All personal information should go down. Utilize the space, 2 to 3 pages maximum. Very squeezed. The positions, highlight the position, not the company. The company is there, but highlight the position. Same for the degrees, highlight the degree, not the university. The university is there, but the degree. I want to know if you have bachelor or not. Add photo or not add photo, it's up to you. Choose fonts that are readable and don't have spelling mistakes, and I'll leave the rest to the Q&A session. I already have a red color for timer. Over to you, Toastmaster Aya. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Samer Yunus. Before we move on to the next workshop, I must announce that there will be a quiz after the 4 sessions are done, and there will be 3 awards for the winners, so please stay tuned. Now, Next, we will have a job search strategies, which is going to be presented by DTM Saud Al-Umair. DTM Saud, mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And good afternoon for all our participants, job seekers, and fresh graduates. Thank you very much, DTM Samir, for taking care of the first part, probably the most important part, which is the marketing tool, our CV. Thank you very much. So my time starts now. And as Toastmaster Raya said, we are going to have a quiz at the end of the session. So the first part, and as you see, my name is Saud Al-Umair, and I am part of the Toastmaster for almost from 2007. So I am a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, and I have a certification. I work for SABIC, and something I'm very proud of is Jadiroon. I'm founder of Jadiroon, and also I'm the president of the Saudi Human Capital Club. Now we have done the first part of job search. We done the resume, so we prepared the resume, and now we need to say what we do to it. And before we do this, sometimes we hear about this term luck, and when people say this person is lucky, he found a job. So what is luck? Is it because someone is well connected? Is it because someone is a star? Is it someone because he or she has high GPAs? What is this one? I don't know if we have any participation in the share, but in the chat box. But anyway, so luck actually, it's a combination of two things. First, preparation and opportunity. So we need to prepare. Some people, they might have the opportunity. So they found a good job, but they were not ready for it. They were not prepared for it. They did not have the right skills and the knowledge for it. So they missed it. And some people, they are well prepared. They have good education, good maybe qualification, good training, good skills, knowledge, everything, but they never had the opportunity for a job. So two things. This is the combination of luck. Luck is when you are well prepared. This is what we're doing today, and over maybe especially during the coronavirus pandemic, people prepare for the job. So it's not a time for search for a job, but it's a time to prepare to develop yourself, develop your skills. And after that, you need to go to the opportunity, find the right opportunity. So sometimes we have a good opportunity, but we're not ready for it. And sometimes we are prepared, but we never had a job. We never found any opportunity for that. So we have to make sure that we prepare very well and look for the right opportunity. Now we start the search. So what we do, I mean, several things. The first thing that we can check the website for, where do we search for a job? Especially now we use electronic. We do not need to go to the organization, to the governments anymore, or companies. We do not need to visit their websites, their premises, their buildings. No, all we need to do, just look at maybe one way is go through the website of the organization and see if we can apply, because some especially big organization, they have the capability, they have the way that they can build their own application pool. So they have like a pool of database. So if you need to go for this organization, the only way to do it, you need to go to your website and apply. So you need to check if these organizations have website where you can go and apply. So visit them, go to the career page, see if you can apply, see if they have any job posting for that. Another way, we send email. We start sending email to the organization. If we know the people who are involved in recruitment, in the HR, we can also send email to them, personal email. Avoid sending bulk emails to many people, but send personal email to the individual. So this is another way. Recruitment website, and we'll talk about this one because these are becoming a very, very common these days and very easy way to apply. This is probably one of the best way to do it, especially these days, recruitment website, and we'll talk about the most common things. Career fairs, we also do them sometimes in some universities, some of the government organization, some of probably the community services also, they provide some recruitment here. So go visit them, check in your local area if there are any recruitment or career fairs. Go visit them, talk to the company, because sometimes you have the opportunity one day to visit maybe 50 organizations at the same time. at the same day. So you go there and make sure that you introduce yourself and ask about it. Another way that's becoming very common, especially for the young graduate, is social media. Make sure that you have a very decent personal accounts in the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all these things. Make sure, check them. Now I'll see many job posting actually coming in the social media. So this is a very good way to also go and do this one. So it's a good way to do this one is make sure you have a very recent personal, make it personal. Do not use any kind of maybe special, some acronyms or anything or weird names. Use your first and last name. And if it's possible, use your photo on this one and make sure you have a very decent, very clean, because even when you apply for a job, sometimes what they will do, they will go to your accounts. They will ask about your social media account, and they want to know what kind of person you are. So make sure that you do not publish anything that might harm your personal brand. So make sure that your brand is very strong on this one. Okay, now, okay, so how do this one? How I start and how I schedule my job search. First, I need to identify what organization do I need based on my specialty, based on my need, based on my aspirations. What organization I need to go. So I need to go, for example, again, in the banking, I need to go to the banking or telecommunication and petrochemicals or retail. So I need to have a list of organization. I need to do this one. After that, I need to see how do I communicate with them? Do I need to go to their website? Do I need to find someone in that organization? Maybe I can send my CV resume. Do I need to send an email to their HR managers? So how do I communicate? And then start the communication. Do the communication. Start sending emails, applying, and do this one. And never stop applying, especially these days. And do not assume just because they applied, then that's fine. They will come back to me. Oh, they will come back. Then I spend 1 week, 2, 3 weeks, and nothing is coming back. And I assume that, okay, it's okay. They will take time. No, most of them probably because they're busy. They have hundreds, maybe thousands of applicants. So what you need to make sure that you need to follow up. So maybe, and a good way to follow up is after 2 weeks. If you do not hear from the organization for 2 weeks, just send an email, or maybe if you can call them, if you have a contact with them, call them, or maybe check in the website. But make sure that you do a follow-up, always a follow-up. We talk about some of the very common recruitment websites. So, and if you do not have a profile in all these, I think you're missing a great opportunity for job. So make sure you have a very updated, recent profile in all these. Bay.com is very common in the Gulf, very, very common in the Gulf, especially in the Gulf. Gulf Monster, of course, is also is a global website, but it's also, there is a Monster Gulf. So this is also very active. Gulf Talent, again, Gulf Talent and Bay.com, these are very active in the Gulf region. Mehnati, this is a Saudi, and it's a very old website, so make sure you have this one. And number one in the world is LinkedIn. So if you do not have LinkedIn, at least LinkedIn, then it means that you are away of the radar scope of the recruitment agencies or the organizations. You are away. I mean, if you do not have LinkedIn. If you are a Saudi, I think you should have also a profile on Taqat. Taqat is also, they have a huge database, and all the organization in the kingdom, they have to go to the Taqat. And if they want to announce, they have to announce on Taqat. So make sure that you have also a profile on Taqat. So these are the very common. If you do not have a profile in this, start with data. Start with LinkedIn, start with Bay.com, start with Gulf Talent, at least the three. If you are a Saudi, start with Taqat. Taqat is very important to this one. Okay, so these are probably the most common website, and make sure that you keep updating. And go to LinkedIn, especially if you go to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the number one in the world for marketing, for recruitment. And go to the YouTube and see how do I make my profile very attractive. You will find many videos in this one, how to create your profile and how to make it very attractive and to make sure that people find you in this one. Summary plan, and I will not go through this one, but if you have your mobile, just take a photo of this one. Just take a photo of this one, because this will tell you what exactly you need to know. First, you need to know yourself. And you can take any kind of assessment, psychometric or attitude or aptitude assessment or anything. So at least you need to know yourself. Choose what is your field. Go with this one. Identify what skill, knowledge, and competencies you have. Update your profile all the time. Update your CVs all the time. Make sure you have a mentor with this one. So I will not go through this one, but also keep learning all the time. It's yes, you search, but at the time, you also need to learn a lot about this one. Check the social media platforms. Always check. Make sure you have a profile, you have account, always use them. One of the things I'm really proud of is Jadirun. Jadirun is a personal initiative. So if you are a Saudi, I mean, it's a pleasure. And I know that we have many people from Jadirun joining today's session. So please, you can contact me if you want to Jadirun. You also have the Twitter account of Jadirun. You can follow and know about the services that we provide at Jadirun. I really wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn. And back to Toastmaster Aya.
Thank you, DTM Saud. Now, moving on, we will listen to Toastmaster Dr. Salim Hakim presenting Employability Skills Workshop. Dr. Salim, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator, and dear fellow Toastmasters and all the valuable guests. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good afternoon to each and every person. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Excellent. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So my dear fellow trainers, DTM Samir and DTM Saud, have provided a valuable information. I'm capitalizing on what they have already provided. I will be mainly speaking about the skills your employer is looking and searching in you. But before I do that, I will take you very quickly through a profile so you know who Salim is. I have 23 years experience in private industry, working for Unilever, Aujan, Coca-Cola, and other companies. I'm preparing for my ACC, ICF approved as life coach. I'm a soft skill trainer for the past 7 years, mainly development and leadership skills. I have been a faculty lecturer at the business faculty administration for 5 years in Dammam. I'm also a community service initiative. I'm a co-founder of Riyadh Language Exchange and a supporter of small medium enterprises. I'm also a co-founder of Elite Experts, and these are executive SMEs, private club, and brightvisioncoaching.com. Toastmasters is a passion. I have been in Toastmasters, and my journey so far has been wonderful. But Salim, what he has to offer today, that's what it matters. So before I dive into it, I want to refer to what LinkedIn 2018 published in their report as Emerging Jobs Report, where they said 1/2 of the skills is about communication, leadership, and time management. So yes, you might be applying for a technical job, an IT, engineering, programming, whatever it might be, but 50% of your skills is by the employers, and their expectation is communication, leadership, and time management. Now, based on ZT, I will only focus on 4 most important skills that your employer is looking and searching at in you. You can go back to the website and you can go through the rest of the skills that they have posted over there. The link and the name is at the below. So number 1, communication skills. Now, communication skills, it starts from the CV, and that's what my fellow DTM Samir has clearly mentioned. What is important for you is to assess yourself and practice yourself Do you have this skill? Yes or no? How you are going to present yourself when you will going to be in an interview? How you are going to develop your listening skills? You need to also work on empathize. Empathize means that your body language, your facial impression goes in what you hear and what you say. So for example, an employer says to you, oh, we are going through COVID-19 and the business is down, and you have a beautiful big smile on your face. No, it doesn't go that way. You need to show empathize on the situation, on the incident, and flow with it. When they tell you, are you ready? You need to like jump from your seats and say, yes, I'm ready for the job. You need to learn how to empathize. Your body language goes with your face impression. Draw logical conclusion. Now, we are in a difficult state. Positions with salary scales before the pandemic is no longer what it is right now. Do your homework. Ask about the company. Try to reach out to any of the employees, like DTM Saud has been referring as well. Try to understand what the company is going through, and try to understand what are your levels of acceptance. Build rapport. Build rapport means at the beginning of your speech, at the beginning of your interview, you need to have some sort of an information to share. This is your icebreaker. This is where you build relationship with the people. And the best relationship you can build is you need to know something about the company, especially the achievements, a new product launch, an expansion of a new technology, expansion of a branch, an award. When you go and sit with your interviewer and you have that information, they will love you for that. Adaptability. We all know new technologies are forming on. And if you don't have that, tell them, I will learn, I will read about it, I will get myself acquainted. New business models. We are going through the phase where you might be hired to work from home, not with the same salary package. Are you willing to do that? You need to learn to adapt yourself to different situations and based on what the current market is giving you as a challenge. Willingness to learn. Make sure around the line, you always say that in the interview, I'm willing to learn. I want to improve myself. I want to develop myself, because employer love the ability for people to learn, no matter what certification, no matter how good you are in your field. Time management, so very important. If you are unable to plan your time efficiently, you won't deliver the results. And the first and the most important impression is when you arrive for the interview on time. If you are late for the interview time that is given to you, they know you have a bad time management. Please don't tell me Riyadh traffic. Please don't tell me I don't know where the location was. Please don't tell me I don't know where the entrance was. I don't know which floor. Do that one day before. Take a cup of coffee. Try to visit the place you were going to have the interview. If the interview is not virtual, if it's virtual, ask for the link. Get with the HR. Run a test. Make sure your mic, your camera is all working. Make sure you are on time. I'm not saying spend one night before the interview in the location, but at least be there 10-15 minutes before your interview. They will respect you for that. Problem solving. Employers are constantly looking for people who can help them tackle setbacks and streamline processes. Now, the trick here starts basically with the application form. When they ask you and say, what are your two strengths and weaknesses? That's the trap. Because eventually, one of the three scenarios will going to happen. For scenario number one, you're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any weaknesses. Bad answer. Scenario number two, you will say, I'm a temper guy. I have a problem with my priorities. Okay, you're being honest, but that's not the answer they're looking for. What they were assessing you for is the problem solving skill is started to demonstrate from the form by you knowing what your weaknesses are. And I tell you the hint. The hint is very easy. You must write what the weaknesses are because we are all human, but right in front of that, what are your actions and you plan? How are you working on your weaknesses to make them a strength? And that, my friend, is the first and most important signal that you have what it takes to solve a problem. Now, I'm going to give you some very quick tricks during the interview. If you are in an interview and they throw you a situation where you say, your boss has done this or done that, what should I do? Don't be too quick too prompt in basically giving the answer. These are just question and answer to understand your analytical skill and how are you understanding how the scene goes on with everything. There, be calm. There, consider pros and cons. And the best way to answer is that you share your thoughts with the people rather than saying, I will leave. So for example, I say my boss come to me and he keeps pending me with work. I'll leave. Start with saying, okay, what are the pros and cons? Pros and cons, I need to be productive. Cons, I'm already pressured. So on that, can I, first of all, I might have options. So option number one, I can ask the boss to give me a deadline, a new deadline. I can negotiate with my boss if anyone else can get the job done. This is a perfect pattern for you to get the solution. Here is another trick. If you ever been asked a question that you don't know the answer, always have a pen and paper with you. Write down that question and tell them you will come back to that. It could be a technical question. It could be a question that you don't know. Write pen and paper because that shows you care. Point number three, always, always ask for a water or coffee or a tea or whatever you wish. Because when you are asked a question and you are all unstable within you, what you need to do is you need to work on buying some time. And you know how you're going to buy your time? By drinking that 3-6 seconds of the water. But don't drink too much. I'm just saying manage that. With that, I have a very good suggestion of 2 books that will help you. According to Book Authority, they have ranked these 2 books as number 1. One for job interviews, and the second one is problem solving, is Sprint. Those are the best New York seller books around the world in terms of demand and in terms of sales. Take a screenshot of this and enjoy reading them, and you will definitely be prepared. Last but not least, let me tell you one thing. Skills is not something you're born with. Skills is something that you will develop with time. And mind you, you are what you're worth. You are what you're worth. That means the more you profound your skills, the higher you are worth. And it's not only being an expert or a hacker or an IT wizzy. You could be very good at communication. You could be very good at time management. You could be very good at leadership. If you don't know how to get those things done, we at Toastmasters provide you that. I have learned, and I hope you will learn too. Back to you, Toastmaster Aya.
Thank you, Dr. Salim Hakim. A kind reminder to all, if anyone has any questions, please, if you have any questions to any of our 4 speakers, please send a private message to Toastmaster Yusuf Maghribi, Q&A session Yusuf. That's his name. Please send it and he will moderate these questions at the end of the session. Okay, moving on. Last but not least, DT Amruji Matthew is going to present the interview techniques workshop. DT Amruji, please.
Hello, good evening, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Now, thank you, DTM Saudal and DTM Samir Yusuf and my friend Dr. Salim Hakim for the wonderful presentations. And welcome all youngsters who is looking forward and making use of this platform. It's a great honor to share whatever we have learned with the youngsters. Dear young job seekers, it's a pleasant evening. Rather, I love to share whatever I've learned throughout my past years in Saudi Arabia along with you. Now I request the host to put across the slides, please. Yeah, as you can see on my screen, I hold an MBA from India. I worked with multinational companies called Coca-Cola, then Gosaibi, then Kuwait Danish Dairy, and the former director for Al Rabi Foods, former director for Baja Foods, Saudi Arabia. Currently, I'm working as the country manager for Arabian Beverages Company. I'm a trainer and I've been recruiting people across all these companies. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster and I'm a motivational speaker. Next, please. Yeah. Now, coming to interview techniques, I've traveled across the globe doing interviews for my previous companies and my current company. What is an interview? Why do you face an interview board, whether it's one-to-one or with multiple people? It's a session of question and listening. The purpose of the interview is to gather clear information about yourself and about the company. Now, there are two types of interview. One is investigates, one is behavioral. Now, the investigation, that's what the interviewer will be doing. Who, what, why, when, where, all these things they need to know. And you need to communicate clearly. Who are you? What is your strength? What are your weakness? Where do you come from? What is your background? And if they ask for the reference, you should be able to say, who are my references? While in the interview is going on, while you are trying to give clear information, your emotions, your body language, your attitude, your non-verbal responses are very, very important. You should be looking into the interviewer or the interview board and behaving very properly. Your emotions, there might be questions you might not like, but your body language, your attitude, that takes you to a different altitude. Your non-verbal responses are very important. Next slide, please. Preparation for an interview. This is very, very important. You need to do your homework. What to do before the interview? Research about the organization, their mission, their vision, and their values. What is the history of the company? What products, what services they are offering? What are their competitors' information? And if possible, try to get the interviewer's profile. Select an appropriate attire. You should have the proper attire. You should have a modest dressing. You should know the organization culture. You should know about the industry and their market share if possible. Plan ahead. As my former trainer was saying about time management, it's very, very, very important. You should know the location, the direction where the company or the interview is being set up. You should arrive well ahead. If possible, the previous day you just have around and know where the exact location. You do not have time to give any excuses saying that I was in the traffic, I do not know the location. No, that is not the concern of the interviewer. It's the sole responsibility of the candidate to be there on the location on the proper time, at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of the interview schedule. Next slide, please. During the interview, my dear youngsters, turn off your mobiles. Your mobiles should be off. Listen carefully and speak. Communicate clearly with confidence. You may be having so many doubts, but be confident. Use proper body language and gestures. Smile and answer questions. Be enthusiastic. You should always wear a smile. Don't be anxious. Please be yourself. Behave yourself. Be cool. Listen carefully and respond. This is what I've seen in my experience with several interviews. People try to respond before the question is completed. So listen carefully, think and respond. Do not slouch. Sit properly and correctly. Sit with confidence. Sit elegantly. Keep good eye contact. Do not look here and there. Look into the eyes of the interviewer. Or if there are more than 3 or 4, more than 2, then look to the eyes of the questioner, the person who is questioning you, or the interviewer who is asking questions. Ask genuine questions. You have all the right to know about the organization and an opportunity for career growth. You have all the right to take down notes while the interview is going on. During the interview, remember, you will not be called again for the same interview. If shortlisted, then you will be called by a senior management. The initial interview is very, very important. You must be able to prove that you are the most suitable candidate for this particular position. You should be able to market yourself with confidence. You should be able to say how you can add value if you are selected, if you're taken, if you have been given this position, how you can add value to the organization, how you can be a better team player, how you can lead, how you can take the responsibilities. You should be able to sell or market yourself very clearly to the board or to the single person. Next slide, please. The funnel effect. Remember, majority of the initial interviews takes place like a funnel. The open questions, that is general information. You should be able to listen actively, and they will also be listening actively. That is general information. Second is probing questions. They will be probing more to know more about you. There will be questions being asked one after the other to more about you, related to your experience, the current or the former employers, your colleagues, your references, and what have you done in your previous company, or if you are applying for as a fresher, okay, what you can add, what is your hobbies, what are your other activities. All these things will be probing questions. You will be probed. You will be again and again asked the same questions in different manner. And the third, closing questions. Checking and verifying your informations, verifying your certificates, verifying your credentials. And that'll be the evaluation and finalization. When coming to the close question, the third part, you'll be narrowing down. So you'll be very clear and precise. Next slide, please. Closing of the interview. Summarize the key points you have noted during the interview. Ask questions which are relevant to the interview and the organization. During the interview, you can note down. So you can ask questions about the organization. What is your career growth? What career path? And all these kind of questions you should be able to note down. Ask about the next step. Show your interest in hearing about the result of the interview. Ask them very politely, when I can wait, will you be calling me, will you be sending me email, or how will you communicate with me? Within how many days can I know the result of the interview? Whether shall I wait for 2 days, whether shall I wait for a week? And this can be asked in a very polite manner. And thank the interviewer by the name. During the course of the interview, you should be able to know the name of the interviewer. The initial stage itself, you will be able to come to, they will introduce and you will be able to. So thank the interviewer by the name. And you can leave politely. With that, I end my session, the interview techniques. Hope you have noted down all these things. Otherwise, I can share it through the organizer of the program. So hope this had been very much fruitful for you, the youngsters who are looking out for jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DT Amroji. And thank you all our speakers for the very, very insightful workshops. Now, we have an interesting quiz session prepared by DTM Saud Al-Umer, who will explain more about it. DTM Saud, can you please explain about the quiz?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Toastmaster Aya.
And yes, I think we need to do a quiz. People know I like quizzes. So we will have a quick quiz. The first thing that we're going to do, the quiz will be in different dates. And as I said, we have 3 prizes for the winners. So I will leave this for Toastmaster Giju to announce the prizes, the 3 prizes at the end of this section. Before we do this one, I would like you to go to the website, and I will put it in the chat box. So Joe, just go to this www.kahoot.it. Will know about it. So the pin code will be in the screen. You'll see it in a minute. So we just, and now we're just warming up. So we are not started yet. I just want you to get used to the website. Okay, now we will get the pin code in a minute. Okay, now you can see. Okay, Oma is the first player to join. Okay, good. Okay, we have 140. Okay, some people are still trying to join. Okay, let's start. So the question now, this is not part of the quiz. This is just a warm up. What do you think of the event so far? In 1 or 2 words, just 1 or 2 words. And if it's not positive, please do not write it. Okay, just write, be positive, and make sure that you're generous in giving feedback. Okay, good. This is the feedback we get so far. So majority of people see it informative. That's why we see it in big fonts. So now you know how it works. We will move to the quiz now. This is a multiple choice questions quiz. So you have the question on the screen. Then so you will see it. Okay. So you'll see it in the Zoom screen. In the Kahoot screen, you will see the responses. You will only see the color. But this is a trial, so you don't have to worry. If you miss it, it's okay. Let's try first question. And the question says, capital of Saudi Arabia is what? And you have 20 seconds for this. Okay, everybody gets it. Okay, you see the time indicators at the left side. 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, so I'm surprised. I think you missed it because of the color. But do not tell me that you do not know Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia. Okay. So 56 people got it right. Let's see the winners. So you have to be right and you have to be fast. Okay, Adil is the number 1. Mahish, Shamim, someone, and I don't know, but have to you can see. Let's go to the next. We know 3 questions for this. And the winner is Mahish. Congratulations, Mahish. Good. So now you know how it works. Let's go to the real exam, the real test, the real quiz. Okay, we have only 10 questions, and all these are related to the 4 topics we discussed today. Okay, 10 seconds to start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we start. Bismillah. First the questions. The employer is searching in the candidate the following. 3 to 1. 80 people responded. And yes, knowledge, competencies, and motivation. Motivates. 53 people get it right. Someone is leading. Joe, Rajesh, Milham, and Shamim. Second question. The best way to get knowledge about the employer's products and services. Okay, done. Visit their website or their branch. 66 people get it right. And now who is leading? Okay, Roy, you say, Joe, Rajesh, Mahesh, and Faris. Next question. Mental and physical preparation before the interview is time. Okay, 65 people, enough sleep, light exercise, and light meal, and Joey, Mahesh, Samir Yunus. No, you're not supporting me. Okay, Sarah and Shamim. So even if you win, you will not get a prize. Question number 4. Electronic job search includes the following except. Yes, except phone calls. Who would like to have a phone call with an employer? Okay, so let's see. Mahesh, Joey, Samir, Romy, and Mandu. Question number 5. Luck is what? Combination of what? To one time. Yes, preparation and opportunity. 62 people. Good. And let's see. Mahesh still leading. Joey, Samir, Romy, and Nando. Good. Next question. Should I add my photo to my resume? Time. 46 people got right. So yes, for some positions. And Mahesh still leading. Joey, Samir, and okay, with the same sequence. Question number 7. How many references should I include? Okay, according to Samir Yunus, none. Yes, people used to do it, but he recommends that do not do this again. Okay. So now Samir Yunus is leading. Joey, Manar, Al-Attas, Zahra Ahmed, and Mahesh. 2 more questions, or 3 more questions actually. What are the types of interviews? According to Toastmaster Roji, investigate and behavior, and 46 people get it right. Congratulations. And Joey is leading. Zahra, Ahmed, Samir, Manar, and Salha. Question number 9. This is multiple select. So it means we have more than correct answer. Okay, time, and we have, okay, so we have 41, 38, and 46 people get it right. So except about the salary, you never ask about this. You will never know the salary anyway. So Zahra now is leading. Jamshir, Manar, Saliha, and Samir Yunus. Question number 10. Again, more than one answer. Time. Yes, you never need to check your timing during the interview. So the majority get it right. Let's see the final response. Okay, number 3, Saliha, congratulations. Jamshid, number 2, congratulations. And number 1 is Zahra Ahmed. Congratulations, Zahra. Take a photo. And we have Manar, number 4, and I think number 5. But these are the 3 winners for today. So take a photo of this one, and congratulations for that.
Thank you, DTM Saud, for the very fun and engaging quiz. And thank you, our audience, for participating in the quiz. And now heading for our last segment of today, we will have a questions and answers session, which will be presented and moderated by Toastmaster Yusuf Maghrabi. Toastmaster Yusuf.
Thank you very much, MC. I'll be directing my questions to the 4 trainers. I already got most of the questions, and I'll try to do my best to ask everybody all the questions that are asked. So I'll start with DTM Samer Yunus with the same sequence of the speakers at first. I'll be sharing my screen. DTM Samer, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so you've got many questions. So please, you have 1 minute to answer each. First, what should be the font size in the CV? The color? Should I place my hobbies in my CV?
Okay. Now, quickly regarding these are 2 topics. It should be readable. I used to use the font Garamond for just light touches. I use Calibri nowadays because Calibri is good in both in Arabic and English. Some people use Tahoma, some people use or Arial, so it's up to you. 12 is a good recurring number that I can think of. When you have less content, you definitely have a little bigger font, as long as you don't have much spaces. So 12 is a good number. You can have 10 for those less, for more text under the 12. Sometimes you have 14. So 12 is the magical number, but it's not a must. Depending on the font itself, you have the size. The color should always be black. You can sometimes add some dark blue, but
what about the background?
The background white for sure white, and no frames. Don't put frames. It's not that professional. I don't know. Again, whatever I'm answering is not the right or wrong. It's only a preference that I have and I see. So black font, no background, no frames, and the size is around 12 for most of the text. Some could be a little bigger or a little smaller. And
Okay.
but never, if you use caps, be careful of spelling mistakes. And I once received a CV with the title Hobbies with double P. So that was a little bit insulting. Don't use caps in the titles. Bold, bigger font, bold, not bold and underline. So there are some minor touches that we will talk about later on during this project in the workshop. So I encourage you all to register for the workshop that will help you in improving your communication skills and your CV writing. Next question.
Is there a special guidance for job search in these days in COVID-19?
Now, I will leave this to the job search, but networking, this session, getting to know people, getting in touch with the references, that will help you a lot. But I will actually divert this question to my colleagues as well, especially DTM Saud. But networking, don't sit and sleep and watch movies. Yes, we watch so many Netflix and so many recorded movies and streaming, but you need to participate in such events. Networking is the answer. 3, how many CVs?
How many CVs am I expected to submit? How many organizations?
CV, I personally believe that your CV should always be the same. Some colleagues, they give some tips that you need to tweak it a little bit to match the position you're applying to. I don't disagree with this. Yes, you can do that. But I usually prefer that your CV should represent all of your experiences. You can tweak the cover letter. The covering letter should be customized for the position you're applying to. And somehow in the covering letter, you should mention that you know about the company you're applying to and you know about the position and this is what you want to do. So make sure that the covering letter is where you modify. The CV itself somehow should all the time be the same. 1, 2, 3 pages depending on the content. 2 is a magical number. 2 to 3 is a magical number. If you have enough.
They are asking for sharing samples.
I did share the case studies, which we did before. I can share the template, the old template that I used 20 years ago, which is based on tables. I rarely use tables nowadays in CVs. Again, you will have my email, so I will, or my WhatsApp, that's the best tool. My mobile number on WhatsApp, you can always message me. I can send you, we can communicate there by email and other. So I can send. But see, again, there's an important point here. It is you. You decide what reflects you. There is no right or wrong, but there are some guidelines. Okay, sharing a template means you become part of a template. Okay?
Okay, so fourth question is, if a candidate is specialized in specific sector, but he's willing to switch because of lack of opportunities, what should he place in his CV?
Few of us, if any, are single track skills, experiences, and so on. We have other skills, we have other experiences that we can apply. You can be a specialized electrical engineer, specialized in design and fixing of electrical boards, if that's a profession in electrical engineering. But you can do teaching, tutoring, some public relations, some marketing, even training. I've been doing training as my mainstream job, although I'm an architect by education or project management, but so many things. So it's up to you, and you need to consult with somebody that they will help you find the best in you.
Thank you, DTM Samer. I think I'll be back to you again. Let's go for our next trainer, DTM Saud Lamer. DTM Saud.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, please.
Thank you very much for your session. I'll be starting very quickly with you. First question, should I submit for one job opportunity once? Can I apply again for another position? For the same organization, they mean.
I think yes. Yes, you never know. Normally, what organizations do, if they have an applicant and who was interviewed, or he or she maybe was not appropriate for that job, normally they will refer it to another job. But I would recommend yes. If you see another opportunity in the same organization where it might fit your qualification, yes, do and apply for that.
Okay. Which is more important, the competencies or attitude, and how can the attitude be presented and reflected in the CV or interview?
I think the main reason organization conduct interviews is they want to know you as a person. They want to know the person behind the CVs. So they want to see this one. That's why it's very important for the person when you go for that. Yes, and especially now, especially some big, large organizations, they use what they call competency-based interviews. So they look for situation where the person demonstrated his or her competencies. So yes, the way to do it is you need to talk about specific cases or situation in the past where you demonstrated this attitude or competencies.
The question, how to identify fraudulent recruitment website or agencies?
Okay. I think that if you check in the recruitment agencies, if you check on the LinkedIn, if you check in this one, because what happens actually now, yes, recruitment agency, but also organizations, sometimes they have job posting within the recruitment. So sometimes you see Gulf Talent or Bid.com or Gulf Minister or something. You will see also some organizations, they also have job posting in this one. So you need to visit this very frequently. Almost every day you need to visit their website.
Okay, next question is, some companies during COVID-19 are not updating their job, their sites, their websites or whatever. So how can this be avoided?
Sorry, so they are not updating their job posting?
Yes.
You never know if it was not updated, or maybe it is a new need or demand for the organization. So I would recommend go again and apply for that.
Mhm.
Go and apply for that. You never know about this, if it's an old position or posting or maybe a new one. But if you see this one, just go and update to this one. Or maybe if you see if you have the career, sometimes they have the career page and they have some email that you need to contact. Just send the email and tell them, this is still valid. You still need the applicants for this position. Okay. Yusuf?
I'm a team leader and I have applied for many vacancies. I'm sure that I fit and have the enough experience, but I'm not getting anything. What am I doing wrong?
Maybe not. Maybe just there was not, there wasn't an opportunity for that. There wasn't. What I recommend, get a coach or a career advisor or a mentor and ask if there is something missing, maybe that's make the recruitment agencies or make the job actually they're not reaching it. So go and contact them, but make sure that you take advice. I always tell people that never send your CV without advising, without asking for your mentor. Never go to interview with them without asking for your mentor. Never accept a job offer without also checking with your mentor. So make sure that you ask someone for advice about this.
So regarding DTM Samer question, do you have any recommendation during the COVID-19 crisis for job seeking?
Actually, even before the COVID-19, the economic situation globally was not going very well. So that's why many organizations have froze the recruitment for the past maybe two years. What I see now, it's getting worse because of the COVID-19, and many businesses, they had to reduce the workforce. But the bright side of it is now many, they are not recruitment, especially external recruitment during this maybe 6 or 7 months. And I think it will not happen until the end of the year. However, we see many people leaving for a final exit. Once the businesses start opening, I think there will be great opportunity for people to find jobs. So continue searching, never stop. You never know, because this also creates demand in new businesses.
What's your recommendation for continuing on searching?
Go to the websites every day. Ask for advice from people. Get connected to the people you know. Get connected to the people who are in the HR or the recruitment or in the business. Ask them if their organization are recruiting. So you need to be very active. I know people who do this every day. They have a schedule every day. They visit some websites. They send emails. They call people. They check the social media. Do it every day. The situation is not very promising, actually. These days, it's a big challenge to find a job, even for locals. So I'm sure it's even worse for expats. So
thank you.
Make sure that you do this every day.
Thank you, DTM Saud. So your main message is to never give up and keep on looking. Thank you. Now going on to our next trainer, Dr. Salim Hakim. How are you, Dr. Salim?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. So thank you for this very informative
Go easy with
session.
me with questions, yeah?
Okay. Actually, these questions are not mine, it's the audience, so I'm not the one who's doing. How to prove you have the soft skills in a CV or an interview? Because, you know, soft skills are not really simple to present.
That's a very good question. Let me give a suggestion. When a job is being offered, it is accessible at times to get a copy of the job description. If that information is possible and accessible and the employer is willing to share before the interview, then it's good to understand and know what are the competencies that the employer is looking for, so you can reassess yourself and focus. If you have them, mention them. Now assume that they don't have the job offer. Try to understand the level of the position you have, the experience you have, and the type of the job they are offering, and therefore try to understand what skills go to serve best in this. So probably an analytical skill wouldn't really help for sales. Sales, you need to be upfront, motivated. So try to understand what kind of the skills go where and use them and put them under competencies or skills or I'm good at in your biodata.
Okay, next question. Thank you. Having a master's degree without work experience, should I put it in CV or is it a disqualification or overqualification for myself?
That's a very good question. See, we basically have the classifications of the experience is not necessarily that every person has to have it in order to get the higher, in order to get the position. There are certain jobs that are especially designed for fresh graduates. There are jobs that are designed for intermediate experiences from 1 to 3 years and so forth. So try to understand if you fit into the gap. If you need to be exceptional, then you really need to tap on what your employer is looking for. And you can know this through their website, their specialization, their product and services, and their ad. So if you can design your CV based on what their expectation, you might just be an exception. Having the fact that I have a bachelor, I have a diploma, I have a master's, but I don't have experience wouldn't qualify me. That's not entirely true. It's you, when you're hunting for a job, it's a sales pitch. You need to sell yourself, how much you're worth and how much value can I bring to the table.
Okay, next question is, doesn't asking for water or drink portray that you are too demanding or needy? Who is there to take, not to give?
Okay, that's again very good question. Well, not necessarily you ask. There are two options to that. In most cases, they were going to say, would you like to have tea and coffee? Don't say no and then re-figure out after 10, 15 minutes into the interview, can you get me some water? Because that will send you a bad signal that will say you are unconfident or you started to feel uncomfortable about the situation. The best thing would be get yourself $1 water and walk in with it. In case if that is stingy, they didn't offer you tea and coffee, use the water you have.
Okay, thank you. Now, next question is it even right to follow up for the applied job during this COVID-19 crisis? Because we are asked to empathize.
Again, is it even right to
you
follow
were
up?
asking, yeah, you were asking in your presentation to empathize with the employer. So is it good to follow up during this COVID-19 crisis? Is it good?
See, usually my recipe, and that's my personal recipe, I'm sure my colleague professionals would say that, never be too constant on the follow-up and never be too ignorant. So a follow-up could be send an email, the very same day, send a reminder, or the following day, give them a call. No, you should at least give 2 to 3, even 5 working days before you make another attempt to reach out, because they are not 100% free for this specific assignment. They might be free in something else, or they might be busy in something else. So a balanced follow-up is very important, and no follow-up is completely unadvisable. You need to follow up. You need to show that you care, but in a constant, organized, and mature way.
Okay. Last question is my question. What is your biggest, most important message for the audience?
My important message would be, I think from the audience we have, if I may classify, we have 3 categories. Category number 1, who already have job. And for them, my advice would be, sir, don't leave your job. Don't think right now to jump, because very simply, because of the current situation we are in, supply is much, 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 much more than demand. So unless and until you are headhunted, don't hold on to your job, at least for another 6 months. You want to work on improvement to your job, you can build relationship and what have you. The second category would be is that where is the people who have already experiences but they don't have a job and they need a job. And for them, I would say, yes, do whatever you can, try to find a job. I think my respective colleagues have provided so much information about this. If you are a fresh graduate and you need to find a job, Yes, you also need to work on yourself and find a job. But very, very importantly, I need you to balance your current demands versus what the market is allowed to offer you. You need to have some sort of a balance. If I'm a fresh graduate, for example, in an IT position for a big IT firm, 12,000 riyal before the COVID, I cannot go and say I'm a fresh graduate. That was the market price. You need to offer me that. If they at least give you a package, whatever they are, negotiate a slight, take it if you have to, because you are the least among the three categories. You have no experience, you have no education. You need to take this time to practice and build something on your CV.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Salim. Now moving on to DT Amroji Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Yes.
DT
Yes, Master
Amroji.
Yusuf, I'm ready.
Yes. Thank you very much for your training session. Very informative. Now you have some questions to answer.
Please.
First question is, should I ask questions at the end of the interview? If yes, what to ask? If they ask me about the salary, what should I answer?
Certainly, yes. You should be able to take down notes during an interview. Nobody will not allow you to take notes. You should be prepared. You should have a notepad, and whatever doubts, whatever queries, you should be able to note down. At the end, usually at the end of the interviewer might ask, do you want to know anything about us, or do you want to know anything more? Then it is better to ask the questions which is relevant to that particular job or which is relevant to that particular organization. You should be able to ask. And if they ask you about the expected salary, that's what I said. You should be able to know the competitors' activities, if it's of that particular industry, or what is the prevailing salaries for that particular position in the industry.
How to look for it?
Yeah, you should do a homework. I clearly said what I've seen. Youngsters just come, but you do a homework. Prepare yourself, okay? And what is the expected salary? You can ask. If they ask you, you say, according to the industry, these are the standard salary. I expect the same.
Okay.
Do not say too low and degrade yourself. You know what is your expected salary, and you should be able to put it in a very polite manner.
Okay. Next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What should be the best answer for this question?
It depends upon the industry which you are going for a job, or what kind of company you are going for a job. What are their organizational strength? What are their expansion plans? Based on that, you should be able to say that within the coming 5 years, I would like to climb up the ladder. That will give an indication that this candidate is serious in his job, in his career growth. So you can immediately say that I see as a team leader, or I see as the next position within the 5 years, provided if the company, based on my appraisal, is happy with my immediate supervisor, immediate manager. So based on the evaluations or the analysis done during the first 3 years or 4 years, you can always give me a chance to be promoted to the next level.
Okay. Last question. What if the interview is through the phone? It's a disadvantage to body language. How can I handle it?
That's a very, very wonderful question. Yes. Yes. And now usually interviews through the phone is very minimal. Now we have all the advanced technology, whether it's through Zoom, or whether it's through Skype, or because Skype interviews have been very common. Now you can have a Zoom interviews. So sitting in across the globe, anywhere you can have and do an interview. Telephonic interviews are very, very minimal these days. Majority it's Skype or through Zoom. So you also prefer to say that I would prefer to have a Skype or to have a Zoom interview or any other mode where you can see and you can express yourself.
Okay, thank you.
That is the best method of doing it.
Next question is, if the interview meeting ended very early, what to do?
Thank the interviewer, try to collect his business card, okay, and ask him whether are you done with the interview. Say that I am not staying nearby, I'm staying a bit far off. So do I need to stay back for any more interviews? Sometimes the interviewer might wind up early so that he is convinced, so he wants to give it to the next level. So he might say, wait in the reception, I'm done with for the next half an hour. We'll have another interview. My immediate manager or the HR director or the HR person or the recruitment analyst would like to have a word with you or check your credentials. You may please wait. Otherwise, thank the interviewer, try to take the card and the email ID so that he can have a follow-up and you can leave. It is always better to collect the information, the email ID or the business card or the HR department's contact details so that you can follow up within next 3 to 5 days.
Okay. Now, when does the shortlisting, this is a two-part question. So when does the shortlisting take place first?
Okay. The shortlisting takes place number of the vacancies available. Okay. If there are about 3 vacancies or 4 vacancies, the initial interview might take place and they might shortlist about 10 people. Then they will be called for a second round or a third round. Okay. Yeah. How to overcome my fear of interview? Fear of interview to, okay. Now the second part, okay, you have a mock interview along with any of your friends or along with any of your senior persons whom you know, whether it's a relative or a friend or a neighbor, you have a mock interview. You give your CV. Based on that CV, please advise him to have a mock interview with you, okay, at your home where you're comfortable, so that you go in the formal attire, whatever is convenient for you, and you attend that mock interview. It's always better to have a mock interview for freshers or young graduates, to have a mock interview with anyone who you feel comfortable.
Okay, having said that, what kind of questions should they prepare for?
What kind of questions?
Yes.
Yeah, and they as a fresher, the immediate questions might be, okay, well, why should we take you? That is one of the, okay, what value you can add to the organization if we are giving you a chance? Okay, what makes you better than, we got 10 people shortlisted, you are one among them. What do you feel that makes you better than the others? Okay, what have you studied, and will you be able to practice what you have studied in the university if we given a chance? These are the initial questions. What are your attitude? Okay, what are your aptitude? Where do you want to become after 3 years? Okay, next question. Okay, since you are very new, you have applied to so many companies. Okay, now we are selecting you. Within 6 months of time, you are getting a better job or a better salary. Will you leave? These are the initial questions, tricky questions to know more about you. And the interview is an evaluation, an analysis of a person to know how stable, if we take this person, will he be able to stick on with us? I mean, for longer period, will he be able to add value to the organization? Okay, all these things are being asked in a very, very tricky manner in the initial stages.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, DTM Roji Matthews. Do you have any big message to deliver in 30 seconds?
Yes, I have one message. One thing, do your homework, be prepared while you go for an interview. Second, be yourself. Stay calm, have a smile. That will ease the tension there. Be yourself, do your homework before you go, okay? Have a smile. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DTM Roji, for this very informative Q&A. Now moving on again to DTM Samer. Thank you, DTM Samer, for being open for questions. So there are two questions in this question. First part is, I've changed my university and my specialty. Should I mention my old specialty and university in my CV?
And continue the question. Experience for my degree, what to write. Now, let me answer the second part since it's shown already. Experiences doesn't come only as professional experience. See, the word professional means profession, which means it's paid for experience. You gain experiences from voluntary work. The experiences we are looking for in any company are the experiences you gain from work. Work includes voluntary work, which is not paid. Professional experience means paid for. So for experiences, you can always add your voluntary work. And if you don't have, you can start immediately. It's not a shame that you don't have experiences. You have to start from somewhere, but it's a pity that you lost opportunities throughout your years to do voluntary work and gain experiences. For the first part, I know of people who got their high school degree after 10 years of professional experience, and then they got university degree, and then they got advanced degree. It is not a shame. It's a good thing you do, but you need to be very careful to give 10 years of experience and then mention the date of your high school degree. You don't even need to mention that you have high school degree because it's a given. If you have it, you don't mention it. If you don't have it, you should somehow mention it later on in an interview, but you don't mention that you don't have it. So somehow you have to be very careful when you mention your degrees and the sequence of dates. If there is experience you are not proud of, and this shouldn't be the case, we as adults who think of our decisions, take logic, we shouldn't consider our mistakes as mistakes. We consider them as experiences. So it's the way you package that experience is how you write it in your CV. So I would encourage you to revisit your CV, consult with someone to make sure that whatever experience you have in the past is packaged right in your current experience.
Okay.
You mentioned in your career objective. Okay.
Thank you. Next question. Yes. Some embassies, they ask for CVs not less than 5 pages. What to do?
Well, I'm not sure about that because such dedicated or such specialized entities, they have certain forms. While searching for my old CVs, I came across a number of forms that I had to fill for specific clients, not necessarily employment, but there are certain forms that some entities require, diplomatic entities, some government entities, some international UN entities, they require forms, and it becomes like a CV, but following their format, which could be 5 pages. But I doubt anyone would tell you the more the merrier here. It's not about quantity. It's not about the weight of the
quality.
Yes.
Is it mandatory? I know you have answered this, but to reassure it, is it mandatory?
No, the question is no, not necessarily, but it's a big piece. Okay. And here I have to say one comment. I know it's against everything that parents tell their kids. Don't go out and just distribute CVs. The wrong way to search for a job. It is done. Maybe you need to do that just to get to know the location, the people. But going out, that paper will be feed for shredder. So try to search for a specific person. Here, a cover letter or a cover email directed towards Salim or Saud or Yusuf that says, "Dear Mr. Yusuf," in the company. So I was searching, I came across your email. The cover letter that is specified to that particular person helps that person read the CV, which hopefully is done properly, which will lead you to the job interview.
Okay. Should the CV be in English and Arabic? Both,
no,
she means.
No. Preferably in English, preferably. Somehow it tells something that if your CV in English, then you have, I don't know, more skills. That's the trend. If you have to do it, have 2 copies. Personally, actually, it's open, but I didn't have time to share it. I have my CV in Arabic, same as English. I don't like to have it both in the same document. It's okay to send both CVs to the same person. This way you write, the name of the document is Yunus, Samer, between brackets E, English, Yunus, Samer, A.
Okay.
2 CVs in 2 languages. But it's good, by the way, it's good to have it. As an Arab, you should have a CV in your own language. There are certain entities that respect that in the candidate. So having that is a big plus for you. And it's okay, both. All right?
Okay, thank you. But before leaving, what's your biggest message you can give to the audience?
Be optimistic. Searching for a job, you are, it's a tool to get you towards something, and until you find your job, be innovative, create your own opportunity. And once you find a job that you don't like, but you have to do, which is fine at a certain period of time, learn to love what you're doing until you do what you love. So passion and be optimistic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all the trainers. I'd like to thank you all very, very much. And I'd like to return back the stage to our MC, Toastmaster Aya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yusuf. And thank you, our trainers, for the very insightful questions and answer sessions. Now, it is the moment that we will announce the awards for the quiz winners. So who will do that is DTM Samir Yunus. Can you please announce the quiz winners?
Okay, I think DTM already announced the 3 winners from the Kahoot exercise for Zahra, Ahmed, for Jamshir, and Saliha. Please contact the organizers. We will be covering for your membership in Toastmasters, the next club you join, because this is an event created by Toastmasters. So we encourage you to join Toastmasters for networking and for improving your skills. So I encourage you to contact the organizers. And once you attend in the nearest nearest Toastmaster club and you want to become a member, I will personally cover for your membership for the first 6 months. It's valued at around 200 riyals per membership, somewhere around 200 riyals. So I will cover for that. If you are already a member in Toastmasters, in the coming 1 month, if you bring a guest, and that's the validity of the award. If you are not a Toastmaster, you have to join Toastmasters within the coming 1 month. If you are a Toastmaster already and you bring guest, your next guest will be his or her membership will be covered for the next 6 months. So this is Toastmasters membership. And I have to say, for the winner in the introductory contest, we did not forget you. We are thankful for you participating in that. And for that, we will send you a coupon of 80 riyals to shop at, I just shared in the link, injaznotebook.com. It's in the chat. There's an 80 riyal coupon. Just communicate with me, send me, and I'll send you the promo code for shopping of an organizer and bookmarks and some very interesting products created by one of our colleagues in Khobar, in Toastmasters, one of the leaders in Toastmasters. Amazing project, and I use his products all the time. So please private message me for that coupon. For all attendees, you have 10% discount on that website as well. The promo code is TM10, TM10. So please visit that website. Anybody who attended today, they will get a 10% discount for the injaznotebook.com products. For the 3 winners, again, private message me and the organizers for your next membership fees to be covered for 6 months. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Samir. And finally, for the vote of thanks, I invite Toastmaster Narish to say the final vote of thanks. Toastmaster Narish.
Every weekend, we used to have some Toastmasters event. But what makes an event to stand apart is how that event is helping or contributing to the society where we actually belong. And I believe this event is one such kind. When there are a set of team members who have self-love objectives and wanted to contribute to the society, the least we can do is say thanks to them. I'm really happy to deliver this vote of thanks. I would like to thank Toastmaster Jijo, who is the event chair today, not only for the idea of this kind of event, but also for the efforts he has put continuously monitoring it and made this event so successful today. Second, having knowledge could be obtained by anybody, but sharing the knowledge and helping others make them a true leader. So I would like to thank our big four leaders, starting from DTM Samer Yunis, DTM Saud Alomer, Toastmaster Salim Hakim, and DTM Roji Matthew, who are acting as trainers as well as leaders today. They are not just only in the front end, but also the backbone of the whole event today. Thank you again, DTM Samer, DTM Saud, Toastmaster Salim, and DTM Roji Matthew. I also would like to thank the district leaders, DTM Samer Kamal, DTM Madhusa, and the whole ExCom team for their continuous support, encouragement, and also their presence today. Today, the event was very successful just because we had various role players in place who had ensured no technical glitches and conducted the event smoothly. Starting from Toastmaster Aya, who was the master of ceremony, who conducted the show beautifully, and also Toastmaster Yusuf Maharabi, who has conducted the question and answer, who consolidated all the questions and beautifully put all the relevant information, who extracted the information, thanks to them. And also Toastmaster Gaudam, the Surgeon-at-Arms, Timer, Toastmaster Roy, Toastmaster Mahesh Pillai, Toastmaster Manas, Toastmaster Numan, Toastmaster Faris. There are so many role players who have been continuously working and who have worked in this and made this event very successful. I'm really thankful to all the role players today. In addition to all the role players, there are a set of people who have worked behind the scene, who are part of the working committee as well as the guidance committee. Of course, there were some non-Toastmasters in both the committees who helped through their insights, working behind and made this event so successful. So thank you all the members. Last but not the least, today's event was made successful mainly because of the participants who have joined today. So I thank all the participants who have earned some knowledge today. Thank you all. Remember, it's just the beginning. The team is going to work further in the upcoming days and contribute more to the society. So I thank all the members who are and will be part of this great initiative. Thank you all, and I hand over this screen to the project chair, Toastmaster Jijo. Thank you all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naresh. Dear participants, it was great having you, and thank you for attending the workshop. This is not the end. Project transition has just begun. We wish the job seeker gets to his ultimate destination, the job. We are here to support him for his every need, say curriculum, be it building up or how to face an interview. Please write to us further. We will be sending emails to you. Thank you for everything. Bye for now. Goodbye.
Thank you everyone for attending, and see you in the next session.